Hi.
Episode 9, Rainy City?
Yes.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
I'm taking us to Bellevue, 1997.
Okay. Bellevue is the east side of Seattle. It's across the Lake Washington.
You know, because we talked that last episode that took place in Bellevue.
Yes. That is kind of the
Yep.
well-off area.
Yeah. So, I'm taking us to the nights of January 3rd and the day of January 4th, 1997.
Okay.
So, this case is considered a massacre.
Okay.
It was essentially a family was massacred.
Okay.
So on January 3rd, 1997, Kim Wilson
Okay.
met with these people at Bellevue Park
Okay.
and did not return home. So the next morning, on January 4th, 1997, while playing in a Bellevue Park, two young boys spotted what they believed to be a pile of clothes in the bushes.
Okay.
Upon their return to the park the next day, they realized that what they had seen the previous day was a human body.
Oh my God, how terrifying.
They ran home, and one of their mothers reported the finding to the Bellevue Police Department.
Okay.
She's caught in Dad's tablet wire. Oh, she's really caught. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Oh, you were caught in all the wires.
Okay.
You just scared me. You just scared me. You okay? You don't ever seem to mind getting caught in wires.
Yeah, it scares us.
So the body remained there until the detectives responded to the scene and had found the body of the young woman. She was later identified as 20-year-old Kim Wilson.
Okay.
She appeared to have been... You want to come host? Do you want to come be the host, Ruby? Ruby's hiding from Artie. Oh.
No, got them both. I have one between my legs and one down the side of my legs.
I have Artie. So she appeared to be involved in a struggle and to have died by strangulation because a cord was found wrapped around her neck.
Okay.
So detectives, those irritate me to no end. So the detectives went to the Wilson family home to notify them. When they arrived, all interior lights were off, although 3 cars were parked outside, and the Christmas lights were still on. So because this was in the new year.
Okay.
Detective Jeff Gomez found a sliding glass door that had been left open.
So it was open or unlocked?
It was open.
Okay.
He called out to see if anyone from within the house. I think they want to host this now.
I think so.
Are you done? Are you trying to give us your commentary? Come here. Mom, she's going up your other side. Okay. So, he called out to see if anyone from within the house would respond. When no one did, he drew his gun and stepped inside.
Okay.
He crept upstairs to check if the family was asleep. He discovered blood-spattered walls and ceilings. Gomez found the body of Rose Wilson, Kim's mother, in bed in the master bedroom. She had been stabbed multiple times in the throat, and her head had been crushed by numerous blows from a heavy object. Near the foot of the bed, they found the body of Kim's father, William Bill Wilson, who had similar injuries.
Okay.
The body of Kim... We have commentary from the peanut gallery.
Yes. Here she comes up on your side.
That's fine. The body of Kim's 17-year-old sister Julia was then discovered in the hall. She appeared to have struggled against her attacker. One of her arms had been broken, and both her head and neck had been stabbed multiple times.
Okay.
So Bellevue police and detectives quickly began interviewing the neighbors regarding any suspicious activity or noises and information on any potential enemies of the Wilsons, because they took out a whole family.
Yes.
Co-workers of William said that he was well liked, with his boss describing him as very loyal and a good employee. Co-workers of Rose said that she was friendly and outgoing. Classmates of Julia, a senior at Bellevue High School, described her as a sweet, shy young girl.
Okay. Now, how old was the sister that got murdered in the park?
20.
20. Okay.
So Kim had graduated from that same high school. And the high school counselor at Bellevue stated that there was tension between Kim and her parents.
Okay.
Especially during her last year in high school.
Okay.
Records show that a year prior to the Wilsons' death in 1996, one of their neighbors had placed a domestic disturbance call reporting an argument between Kim and her parents.
Okay.
When detectives began interviewing Kim's friends, they discovered Kim was friends with a goth group that hung out late at night at the local Denny's.
Okay.
Although Kim did not spend time there herself. So they called themselves the Saturday Night Denny's Club, which is reference to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
The friends discussed...
Breakfast Club is a movie with yeah, if you want to see it, it's a good movie.
So the friends discussed role-playing games with themes of eroticism and death.
Okay.
Several members of the group spoke with the club as being a fun way to rebel against moralism and establish their own identities, which more power to you. Yeah. All for it. However, none of them admitted to having ever considered committing murder.
Yes.
Members told detectives that two of the group, Barani and Anderson, which, by the way, I know I mispronounced his name. I really just don't care, spoke about committing murder on a weekly basis.
Okay. So she doesn't care about pronouncing his name wrong. Then there's a problem.
I don't care about mispronouncing most suspects' names wrong.
Okay, he's a suspect now.
I don't care. So investigators, naturally, questioned and interviewed both of them at their residence. Naturally.
Yeah.
Both claimed to have been playing video games at Barani's home on the night of the murders. Police examined the boys' shoes to compare them with the distinctive shoe tread pattern discovered at the crime scene.
Okay.
So Barani showed the detectives some brown work shoes, claiming they were his only pair. Witnesses and his neighbors disputed these claims.
Okay.
Saying that, disputed the claims that they were there at his house all night. A close friend of Barani's told authorities that he had boots with a similar tread pattern to the ones found at the crime scene. So you have to be a grade A asshole if your friends and all of them are willing to hang you out. So searching the Wilson household again, detectives discovered two different kinds of bloody footprints, indicating that at least two individuals committed the murder.
Okay, well, I would think you'd have to have two people to kill three people and...
That quickly?
Yeah.
So 5 days after first speaking with detectives, Barani admitted to them that he and his accomplice had murdered the Wilsons.
He admitted it?
He admitted it, but he would not name his accomplice.
Oh, well...
He told authorities that he killed Kim first, strangling her at the park. After he realized that Kim might have told her parents where she was going to meet him that night, he decided to kill them as well. He went into the Wilson home with a baseball bat and a combat knife. He began to beat Rose Wilson with the bat, waking her sleeping husband. When Bill came to his wife's defense, Barani beat and stabbed him to death. He then stabbed Rose with the knife and went upstairs to kill Julia. Before returning to his home, Barani took a telephone, a CD player, and a VCR from the Wilson house.
And where are those?
So he refused to name his accomplice, so the detectives later discovered to be a boy named David Anderson.
Okay.
Following further investigations, Anderson was brought in for another round of questioning. This time, Anderson claimed that he had lied to detectives when he told them he had been with Barani the night of the murders. He claimed that on the night of the murders, he had been driving a truck belonging to his girlfriend's father between Bellevue and Seattle. Anderson also claimed he knew Barani had been planning the Wilsons' murders for a while. So what they later learned is that these boys were plotting this murder for over a year.
Oh my God.
He cited the friendship between himself and Kim Wilson as Barani's only connection to Kim. 3 people who lived near the Barani residence contradicted Anderson's statement. They claimed that they saw the 2 boys leaving the house together at the same time on the night of the murders. Detectives searched the households of both boys and took items Barani had stolen, in addition to bloody shoes matching the shoe tread pattern at the crime scene. DNA tests on these items traced back to the Wilsons.
Both of them?
She has an itch. She scared me.
I know. I thought she
came charging over at us. Mom, other side. She's going up your back. So, Barani and Anderson were charged with murder in the first degree. Do we got another comment from the peanut gallery? Come here. I'll pet you. Oh, Ruby's coming to you. Already took me. So, prosecutors attempted to try them together when the trial began in October 1998. But the court felt that each needed a separate trial for his individual role. Are you okay?
Yeah.
But the court felt that each needed a separate trial for his individual role in the crimes.
Okay.
3 weeks after the trial began, Barani was sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. When asked if he had anything to say, he replied, "No, I don't think so." He began serving his sentence a week later. Anderson hired and fired numerous lawyers. He hired and fired numerous lawyers in order to escape a sentencing similar to that of Barani. However, a month and a half later, Anderson was also sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole.
Okay.
So, that isn't where this case ended.
You gotta be kidding me.
So, that same year, that year, they were sentenced as juveniles. And laws have since changed. The state declared juveniles sentenced to life without being eligible for parole had to be reviewed for a chance of parole.
Yes, per 1.
Oh no. So each case had to be. So they were both resentenced. So
how old were they when they committed?
They were juveniles. They were 17 technically.
Oh my God.
They were sentenced as juveniles.
At 17, you know what the hell you're doing.
We've had this discussion before.
Yes.
So in 2012, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that life without parole for juveniles violates the 8th Amendment's protection against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes.
So Washington followed suit in 2018, ruling that juveniles should be treated differently due to their undeveloped brains. Due to that, prosecutors had to figure out a new sentencing within a minimum now set at 25 years to life. So, we're going to start with who got resentenced first.
Okay.
So this is how recent this is. In 2022.
Okay.
David Anderson has maintained his innocence for almost 20 years.
Okay.
He kept claiming that he had been wrongly convicted of killing 4 members of them in 1997, just 2 months shy of his 18th birthday.
Okay, so he could have been, yeah.
So, technically, they could have tried him as an adult if they had wanted to.
Yes.
But I think Washington has always been very strict on stuff like that.
Yes.
So at the time they were sentenced, so Barani in January 1999, Anderson in 2000. Adults convicted of aggravated first-degree murder could face the death penalty, but the only possible punishment for juveniles was life in prison.
Okay.
So as I said, 2012, Supreme Court changed all that. And they basically said that that bars de facto life sentences and requires that juveniles have the chance for a meaningful life outside of prison.
Oh my God. A meaningful life. You kill 4 people cold blood, but brutally. After 25 years, you might get a meaningful life?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So in 2016, Anderson finally acknowledged his guilt and his role in the killing of his former classmate, and then killing her parents and younger sister. Prosecutors argued it was a tactical decision on Anderson's part to do so, and I fully agree with them.
Yeah.
So after hearing testimony over 2 days in late February, King County Superior Court Judge Michael Scott on Friday resentenced Anderson to serve a minimum of 33 years behind bars, which means Anderson will become eligible for parole, eligible for release in another 8 years.
From 8 years from now, or 8 years from then?
8 years from 2022.
So that's 2030.
Uh-huh.
That's 5 years from now.
Uh-huh. So prosecutors had asked him originally to sentence Anderson to 45 years in prison, while his defense attorney requested a low-end sentence of 25 years.
Oh, that is scary.
The state's intermediate. Okay. It's just the state's sentencing review board.
Okay.
Will ultimately decide whether to release Anderson after he's served 33 years, but he cannot legally be held in custody for more than 45 years.
Well,
and that is
leave him.
Discussed by a spokesman for prosecutor Dan Scatterberg. The board can also impose up to 3 years of community supervision, the state's version of parole.
Okay.
So several of Wilson's family's relatives and friends submitted victim impact statements to Judge Scott, detailing the heart-wrenching loss and trauma they suffered as a result of the murders, but they declined to comment to newspapers after.
Yes.
So Anderson's mother also declined to comment, and his defense attorney David Montez did not immediately respond to an email and voice message seeing comment about Anderson's new sentencing. In an emailed statement, Scatterberg said the Wilson family was killed for no rational reason, and their murders rank among the worst crimes ever committed in King County. He said, when you see the gruesome details of this case, the calculated, senseless slaughter of family members just for the thrill of it, you can never get those horrific images out of your mind. When we prosecuted this case, the court was well aware that David Anderson was 17 at the time and that he purposely killed the entire family before his 18th birthday to avoid more serious punishment.
Yeah.
I understand that she did not like that we clocked that. He said, I understand the law has changed, but the life sentence that had been originally imposed was the right sentence, in my opinion.
Yes.
Though, so it's interesting. So as of this time, 2022, Barani had not filed a petition to the court to seek a new sentence. He could, but he hadn't done so yet. And I think he did that because he was waiting to see how Anderson's was done. Was going to plead out.
And how old was Barani? 17?
I think he was just short of his 18th birthday too, or he had just turned. It was something like that. He was 17 too, because he was considered a juvenile.
Wow.
So
these kids.
I want to talk a little bit more though, because the whole reason for this case, what happened, they didn't really admit to it until recently, why they did it.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize this. Their case was very circumstantial until the confession, because they never found the murder weapon. They never found the weapons. So they did do the DNA evidence. The Wilson's blood on the pair of Anderson's boots was among the evidence that led the police to arrest them. So during the trial, during Anderson's resentencing, friends testified he had talked about committing murder for 2 years. Hey! Artie! Ruby! I'm gonna start bringing the squirt bottle over here.
Cover yours. Ruby! Lay down!
I got Artie.
Okay.
So during the trial, Anderson's friends testified he had talked about committing murder for 2 years. He compiled a hit list that included Kimberly Wilson's name, researched state law, and decided to kill someone before his 18th birthday because he knew as a juvenile his punishment would be more lenient than that faced by an adult. So
oh my God.
So at around 10:30 p.m. on January 3rd, 1997, Anderson borrowed his girlfriend's pickup, picked up Barani, and dropped him off at Woodridge Water Tower Park, a small neighborhood park in Bellevue. Anderson then picked up Kim Wilson from her house nearby and returned to the park, where Barani strangled her from behind with a rope as Anderson beat and stomped her to death. And they then went to the Wilsons' house to eliminate witnesses because Kim Wilson's parents and sister knew she had left the house with Anderson that night. They entered through an unlocked door and repeatedly stabbed her parents with knives and bludgeoned them with a baseball bat as the couple were asleep in the bed. So Julia had been studying for a chemistry test in her pajamas when she was repeatedly stabbed and bludgeoned. After children found Kimberly's body, they did all that. They, notified the family, found all that. So, this is the 2012 decision is known as Miller's decision. Miller, who did not he did not bar life sentence. He found that they're just not juveniles are not criminally culpable as adults and have a greater capacity to change. So that's what came from that.
Yes, I mean, 2 months before their 18th birthday, and they did it before their 18th birthday, so they wouldn't be sentenced as adults, is bullshit.
So he believed that they had the capacity to change. So he required judges to consider mitigating factors, and its intent for youth and its intending characteristics such as impulsivity, failure to appreciate risk or consequence, and susceptibility to familiar or peer pressure.
That's bullshit.
So, and what case brought this up was a case of Timothy Haig, who was 17 in 1994 when he killed his friend's 7-year-old sister in Cowlitz County. In Longview.
Yeah.
He had been originally sentenced to life in prison, but was resentenced under the Miller's decision to 46 years in prison. So, the justices vacated that sentence, ruling the punishment focused more on retribution than rehabilitation. So, they released him from prison at age 63. Because doing that deprives him of a meaningful opportunity to return to society, depriving him of a meaningful life.
It's bullshit. They killed 4 people.
So because of that case, King County prosecutors were legally constrained from seeking a new sentence of 46 years or longer in Anderson's case. So because of this, they could not, they had a minimum of 25 years, but they could not go more than 46 years.
Okay, so why aren't they doing 46 instead of 30-something?
Because of the time he's already served. The That has to be taken into consideration too.
Okay. Well, he cannot get out in 2030.
Well, we'll find out. So,
This is crazy.
in October 2024, Barani filed a petition and was rescheduled and resentenced.
For what?
He got life with a possibility of parole after 46 years. He got longer. So,
Was he considered the leader?
I think so. I think that's what it was. So, during the resentencing hearing, King County Superior Court Judge Jason Poydras.
Okay, so it's a total different judge.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Expressed remorse for the impact the legal process had on the victims' families, saying, "I want to extend my sincerest apologies to you for the trauma that the uncertainty of this process has caused you. It is extremely difficult to imagine what the last moments of life must have been like for William, Rosalie, Kimberly, and Julia Wilson. The fear, pain, anguish, and helplessness that they felt. You've been forced to relive the events of this case while having very little control over this process."
Okay.
So, he pointed out this is where this became public record. They applauded the murders for over a year.
Okay.
That was not known the first time around.
Okay.
So the killings of the Wilsons family were not impulsive, spur-of-the-moment crimes of passion, but instead were the result of thorough planning. He referenced the pair's efforts to conceal evidence and evade law enforcement. Barani strangled Kimberly Wilson while Anderson stomped and kicked her before they both drove her home, killed her family. The motive behind the murders was to eliminate potential witnesses, as we have said. At the time of the investigation, officers found a How to Get Away with Murder book in Anderson's room. Despite Barani's youth at the time of the crimes, Poydras noted that his actions did not fully align with the hallmark features of youth, like impulsivity and lack of understanding of consequences. So he directly quoted Miller's decision. He directly quoted, saying that, no, this crime does not align with that, but I'm forced to do this anyways.
Yeah.
However, mitigating factors, including his difficult childhood, exposure to domestic violence, and his efforts toward rehabilitation while incarcerated, were considered.
Yeah.
Because he confessed from the beginning, and he has done everything he could to rehabilitate himself. That's essentially what has been happening. So he participated in educational and rehabilitative programs, expressed remorse, and displayed personal growth. And that's according to the judge, who has the records the prison records and the notes that, is not available to the public.
Yeah.
This case calls for a sentence above a 25-year minimum requested by the defense. So despite showing good behavior during his 18 years in prison, Barani received a new sentence of 46 years to life for each of the 4 murder counts. He will be credited for time served and can go before a parole board as soon as 2043.
So the other guy could get out in 2030 and he'd be getting out in 2043?
Yes. So what's interesting about this, though, is that Anderson, this is why this interests me so much. So Anderson cannot go more than 45 years.
Okay.
But the board will decide whether or not he should be released or continue serving his sentence.
Okay.
So Anderson cannot go the full time of his sentence. Barani can, though.
Okay.
So I think they dubbed him the leader in this. He's the main plotter in this. That is what I'm taking away from this.
Yes. Or it's just a different judge.
Same prosecutors, though.
Yeah, but different judge.
But yeah, it's a kind of an interesting one. So the prosecutor, John Castleton, said the family has been nothing but gracious and understanding, certainly frustrated and angry. They have endured 4 sentencing hearings related to this case now. So Judge Poydras noted Barani's remorse for his actions, saying Mr. Barani confessed to his participation in the murders of the Wilson family and has also expressed remorse for his actions. He also considered, his difficult childhood and positive behavior in prison before determining that a sentence above the 25 years minimum was necessary. He also, Castleton also commented on the judge's handling of the case, saying, "I thought he did an excellent job. He knows the record very well. He knew the law very well. And I think he did what he felt the law compelled him to do, and within the bounds of the law."
Yeah.
And he said, and I'll be honest, I don't really have an issue with the sentence. So from what I'm understanding, though, like, the families have not been upset with the sentencings. Yes, they are, but I think they're doing that. They are saying the judges are doing the best they can in these situations.
Yes, especially since the law has changed.
Mm-hmm. So reflecting on the legal changes, Castleton mentioned the challenges faced by the evolving legal landscape. Given the changing laws here, this is better than I think the last sentencing we had on his co-defendant, Mr. Anderson, who will be resentenced again.
Yes.
So he was resentenced 33 years to life. This is also why I didn't want to give this away. However, due to a recent state Supreme Court opinion, prosecutors have appealed Anderson's sentence and are seeking a new one, aka dragging the family into the courts for a fifth time.
Oh my God.
So prosecutor Amy Mecklin, who handles the appeals, highlighted the impact of legal changes on victims' families, saying David Anderson and Alex Barani are the only juveniles in King County to have received life sentences without parole for aggravated murder. Saying, I think the hardest thing for us is calling these families after 25, 30 years on cases that they thought they had been able to at least put the legal aspect behind them.
Yes.
And we're calling them cold, letting them know, hey, just so you know, we need you to be prepared.
Yes.
This family has been their fourth sentencing hearing on this case. There will be at least a fifth with Mr. Anderson's sentencing. And that is where this case is at today.
Okay.
So Anderson has not gone before the courts yet. And I believe he is set to do it next year.
Okay. So Anderson could end up getting resentenced again.
To longer term. I think they're trying to aim to at least get him as long as his co-defendant.
Okay. But the family has to go back into court again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So when I was doing this, I did not realize how many, like, quote unquote massacres we've had here in the state.
Yeah.
I had never heard of the Bellevue. I heard we're going to do one, the Capitol Hill one, and I've heard of that one.
Yes.
And I've heard of a couple here. I never heard of Bellevue.
Yeah. Well, when I think of massacre, I think of, like, the school shootings and stuff like that.
I think of the Coronation murders.
Yes.
But I think of, like, the mass shootings.
Yes.
Because that's usually what they are.
Yes, but this one is definitely different.
Mm-hmm. They took out a whole family just to eliminate potential witnesses. So you could have gotten a lesser sentence. Not condoning murder.
No.
You could have gotten a lesser sentence by only killing one.
Yes.
You could have already been walking free.
Yes.
Instead, you chose to take out
the whole family.
And the fact that you didn't get away with it and Barani broke. 5 days.
Yeah. So.
At least if you're going to do this, if you're going to partner with someone, at least do it with someone who's going to keep their mouth shut.
Yes. We talk to people about it. If you're going to murder somebody, keep your mouth shut.
And find a partner, though, who can have the stomach. I'm not condoning murder. This is not me condoning anything.
So.
But I'm just saying.
Okay. I think we're done for today. Let us know what you think.
Definitely.
And if you have any information on this and what you think about the way that they are the new sentencing. So,
because that sentencing is still impacting a lot of old cases today.
Yes, it is.
Because it's just taking so long to pull them in front of the review boards and
the
Supreme Courts.
Yeah.
But that is it.
Have a good day. Yeah. I love you.
Love you. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.